welcome to the Michigan Science Center. Right now we're in 1001 Inventions. It's our special exhibit, open now through January 7th. It details the golden age of Muslim civilization, which is a lot of people think of as the Dark Ages, but really during the 6th through 17th centuries, it was a really exciting time in the Middle East where lots of people were working together from diverse backgrounds, different religions, men and women, to create really amazing inventions and scientific discoveries that we're still using today. So we're inviting everybody to come and experience the exhibit before it closes on January 7th. We'll be open during the week till 10 a.m. till 8 p.m. and then on the weekend, Saturday 10 to 6 and Sunday noon to 6. So again, we'd like to invite you to come experience this amazing exhibit, award-winning exhibit. And now I'd like to introduce you to a friend of ours named Al-Razi, who is an amazing inventor from that time period.
Well, hi there. So, welcome to 1001 Inventions in the first place. I'm about to give you a virtual tour of the exhibit. So, what we see here is an elephant clock. It was built by Al-Jazari back in Turkey in the 10th century. Basically, this is a United Nations clock. We have an Indian elephant, a rug, we have Arabian people riding it, the Chinese dragons, the Egyptian phoenix, all working together in solidarity to try to make this entire thing work. Basically how it works is that the body is hollow and there's water in there, and there's a bowl with a hole in it that's sinking, and it pulls on a string that spins the phoenix, which drops a ball that comes out of the eagle's mouth into the Chinese dragon, into the base, and at the same time we're pulling the green scribe there. He's telling you the minutes. And when it's all done and the hour changes, there's a flotation device on the actual bowl, so it just resets itself. It's pretty cool. Come check this out. Now, the exhibit is based on zones. So this here would be our education zone. We talk about the formation of numerals. We call them Arabic numerals, except back then we called them Indian numerals, and they're based on the corners. That's how we actually came up with the shapes of how to write them. It also talks about the first university. So right over here, we talk about how we developed trigonometry, abacus, algebra, and on the other side, we talk about translations and things that sound the same in English and in Arabic, such as algebra being aljabr, orange, naranj. Now, right over here is our hospital zone. Most notably, we have Al-Zarawi here. He helped to create some of the tools inside of modern hospitals, and he built just hundreds of them. We still use them today. On the other side, we have someone called Mary Wortley Montague, and she was from Europe, but she learned from the Muslim civilization about inoculation, and she actually helped make smallpox vaccines. She's right back here. You can actually see some of Al-Sarawi's tools right here, and right over here. We also have videos of the scientists talking to you. So in this case, we have Mary Wortley Montague talking to you here. Just pick up the phone, press the button, and they'll tell you their story. If you follow me, this next zone is the astronomy zone. So back then, they were helping name stars, craters on the moon, and there was actually a scientist called Jalebi who strapped on a rocket on his back and flew really high and fell into the ocean. Some of the first rockets were invented during this time. And one of the most notable features of this particular zone is the astrolabe. Now, the astrolabe is a computing device. It's also a timekeeping device. And by pointing it at a star or the sun, you can tell your location on Earth. You can tell what time it was, what time of the month. It's a really, really awesome device. It was perfected by Maryam al-Sulabi, who learned that craft from her father, who learned that from other scientists. Now, we also have here the naming of certain constellations. And if you take a look at this zone, This is, it has a lot to do with the Silk Road. There was a man called Ibn Battuta who traveled it. What he saw is that people were inventing different ways of making currency. So back then they used to use coins, but when he traveled to China, they had a paper-based system. Now, on this side, we talk about distillation and ancient perfume making. Basically, they use something called an alembic still, which you can make perfumes with, you can make essential oils, certain types of medicines. This was by Geber and Al-Razi, who is right over here, and whose character I portray here sometimes. Now, on this side, we're talking more about Al-Jazari. Al-Jazari was the guy who made the elephant clock. He had a pretty long name. His name was Badi al-Zaman Abu al-Iz Ismail Ibn al-Razaz al-Jazari. Pretty awesome. So, remembering that name, you know he was going to be brilliant. But basically what he did is he helped develop water pumps. So, he converted circular motion into, rotary motion into linear motion. And then, he's portrayed here by our Ben Kingsley, of course. You can check out his video. Great engineer. He created 5 different types of water rising machines and wrote just a lot of books. Over here, we're talking about architecture. So the most notable scientist here is Sinan. And what he did is he used to make arches and vaults and windows. And the reason that's important is because during that time, they actually inspired the European Renaissance. If you check here, this is called a rose window. And on the opposite side, we have a window from the European Renaissance. And you see how similar they are. You also see this in modern mosques, churches, buildings, just everywhere. So the influence is huge. Now, on this side, we have fountains and giant water clocks. Now, back then, even today, water was very scarce. So only the people with the most money and power would have water. So they decided to make elaborate fountains and giant water clocks. Basically this one, you would actually have a lion pouring water out of its mouth if it was 12, 1, 2, and so on. And then right here we have the architect Sinan, who built over 477 structures in his lifetime and inspired many European people, European architects. Right here we have Ibn Maymun, which you might know as Maimonides. He has a hospital down in New York. And he was an ancient philosopher and doctor, still a great person. And on this side, we have replicas of the ancient texts coming from some of the books. So we see the ancient alembic still. We see Al-Jazari's water clock. We also see some astronomers working with astrolabes in their observatories. And over here we have an ancient map of North America with Africa on the right, South America and Central America on the left. So that's a map that navigators used to use. Now, the final thing I want to show you is right over here. Now, this is the alembic still. It's a modern replica of what they used over 1,100 years ago, back in Baghdad, developed by Al-Razi. Basically, we make rose water, essential oils, medicines with this. But if we take this is called naft. It's a type of crude oil, your fossil fuels per se. If we distill that, we make plastics, jet fuels, kerosenes, anything synthetic ranging from like synthetic clothes to phones to TVs and cars, quite literally would not exist without this ancient 10th century technology. So as you can see, all of this ancient science greatly impacts our modern world.
Thank you guys so much for tuning in to our tour of 1001 Inventions. Make sure that you come down to the Michigan Science Center and check it out until this Sunday, January the 7th. And it is a part of your general admission price. So it's a great time to spend the week if your kids are off of school this week, or if you're like me and just love to learn about the ways that we get all the great stuff that we have now. Thanks for tuning in.